How's everybody doing? This is going to be a very special moment for me. I am finally reviewing the Harry Potter franchise now. I have a tough history with this series. Now, I've only watched this Harry Potter movie. I never watched any of the sequels. I've only watched like maybe the first 30, 40 minutes of the second movie, but that's all I've watched. I've never really got into this universe, but at the same time, I was pretty young when I watched the first movie, so yeah, I guess, but with the new Hogwarts Legacy game coming out, which honestly looks pretty damn good, surprisingly to me, and so I can't just play the game knowing absolutely nothing, so I thought it'd be a smart idea to check out the Harry Potter movies, and at the same time, I thought to myself, let's review them. And I'm also going to be reviewing the Fantastic Beasts movies, which I've only heard pretty bad things about, but these movies, I've heard nothing but good. So let's get into it. With my first positives of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is the cast and characters. You got Daniel, you got Donnie, you got Emma Watson, you get what's the guy's name? The guy who plays the red haired guy. I forget their name. I'm gonna remember their name sooner or later, but I'm kind of blanking on names right now. You also get Alan Rickman. You get Robbie as Rubus. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Which the guy who played him sadly passed away. Rest in peace. You were awesome in this movie. I absolutely loved that character growing up when I was a kid. And I was a bit upset to hear that he died. And yeah, I love this cast. I love the characters in this movie. They're portrayed well. The kid actors, you can tell that their lines kind of fall flat, but I'm not gonna yell at them because they are pretty young, and you can't expect every kid actor to be great. But every cast member portrays their character with care. They actually become this character. They care for this character, like Daniel. Forget his last name. Daniel Radcliffe. Let's call him. I'm blanking on names. He portrays Harry Potter very well, and he cares for this character, even when he was like a little small child. And he's grown up with this character. Harry Potter's pretty much become his best friend in a way. It's kind of weird. And I love watching interviews with him, seeing how he talks about Harry Potter, how much fun it was to make this movie, how like Harry Potter like became his life, and how much he loves seeing fans talk about him and seeing how much they love him. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that. And Emma Watson, she hasn't really done anything besides these movies. I mean, she was in like a quick cameo, and this is the end, but that's it. And I feel that she needs to be in more movies because she was awesome in this movie for a little girl, and I want to see her in more movies. Now, let's not forget about Alan Rickman, that legend, rest in peace, who I remember as Hans Gruber from Die Hard. And it's kind of hard for me to watch Alan Rickman in other roles when I absolutely adore Die Hard, which is one of my favorite movies. And Alan Rickman portrays his character wonderfully in this movie, and I just love this casting and crew. They did amazing bringing this movie to life, and that's only my first positive. Another positive is that this movie ages pretty well. I think this movie ages pretty damn well. Sure, I will agree that some of the CGI is not very great, but this movie was made in like the late 90s and didn't come out till like 2001. Are you really gonna rant about it that much? Yes, you can tell that some things were CGI before its time. The computers and technology that they have weren't as great as we have them now. And the green screen, you can't tell when there is a green screen, but it used a good effect, and the way that they used them in this movie is pretty damn good, honestly. And for its time, like I said, it's pretty good, and I won't rant about it as much. But I will rant about it later, because there is one thing that did bother me, and I did want to talk about it. But yeah, this movie ages pretty well, and the way that they did it back then, it's pretty damn impressive. Another thing that I absolutely loved growing up when I was a kid is the little hat that the kids put on to see like which class they're in. And for some reason, I've always liked it as a kid. It creeped me out because, like I said, it's CGI, but I won't rant about it. It's CGI, but it scared me when I was a kid. I will say that. I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh god, that thing's creepy. But he's so funny too. Like how Harry Potter was like saying, "No, no, I don't want this class. I don't want this class. I don't want that one." And he's like, "Really? You don't want that class, huh?" And he's just like, "But it's in you. This is the class that you want. This one will make you powerful. But I guess I'll put you in the one that you want to be in. He he says it so like sarcastically, like, fine, I'll put you in that class. And he's also kind of being like, he's being nice, but at the same time, he's like, I don't want to put you in there, but fine, go into that class. Just leave me alone. And he's also just kind of funny, and I like hearing that voice. Just like, you should go in this one. Pretty funny. It's creepy, but effective. But please correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Is I like the Quidditch game in this. I remember when I grew up watching it. I always thought it was a fun sport. I think when I was younger, I'd always want to play it, but the little thing, the little ball, I forget its name. We never had one of those, and Magic doesn't exist. But I've always loved that sport. I remember when I found out about YouTube, I would look up like videos about it, and then I found out there was an entire game about it, and I watched people like play it, and I had a lot of fun. And I think that would be like the only sport that I would actually like legit watch. Is it in any of the other movies? I don't think it is. I think it's only in this one. But I like this sport, and I think it's entertaining to watch, and I would honestly like to see like this actually come to life. And my last positive, it's Hogwarts itself. They they did it. They built that thing to great effect, like with the talking pictures, to the different classes, to the look of the building. They did a damn good job, and they built it just by the book describing it. I'm pretty sure there are pictures here and there in the book. I have not read the book in a while. I've seen pictures of it, but I've only read like 2 pages. I'm gonna get in trouble, aren't I? But they created that thing to great effect. They just used by describing and some pictures in the book, I'm pretty sure. It's pretty damn effective, and I honestly like it. Probably the only school I would enjoy going to. And I don't like going to school. Now on to my negatives. I hated Harry Potter's uncle, aunt, and cousin. Now, I know they're written to be hated, but goddamn, is it so hard not to try and not punch your screen, being like you're trying so hard not to punch your screen and act like you're punching them. God, and my instincts when that little twat, little cousin of Harry Potter, my instincts just wanted to jump in the screen and then just strangle him and just beat his ass in. It was hard for me not to do that. I swear to God. You can even ask my dad; he'll tell you. Just watch that little bastard die. And if I was Harry, like the second I learned about magic, all this fancy stuff at the school, first thing I would do if I got home, I'd use my magic on my cousin. But I'm pretty sure there's also rules about that. Now remember when I was talking about that I can't really rant about the CGI in this because of for its time, but there is one CGI moment that physically bothered me for some reason, and I don't know why. Is Voldemort in this movie, where he's on the back of the head of this one guy, I don't remember his name. He's like this guy that Voldemort lives in just to keep functioning or whatever. He looks like a PlayStation 2 character. He looks horrible. Like, it was hard for me not to think of PlayStation 2. Like, when you first see him, you're like, why do you look like from an old PlayStation game? When I even looked up pictures from old PlayStation 2 games, I'm like, um, are you sure that you didn't take this from, like, the PlayStation 1 or anything? No? Oh, that was just bad CGI? Okay. But other than all that, I really enjoyed this movie. This was a fun time. I enjoyed rewatching this, and I never thought I'd ever rewatch these movies again. Now, like I said, I was never a big fan of this, but I did grow up watching this movie a lot. I remember liking like the three-headed dog and all that, and the invisible cloak and all, and like Harry being hid in the basement. My dad would always joke about that. He's like, "I'm gonna treat you like Harry and lock you under the stairs and all that." But I had a fun time watching this. I'm pretty intrigued now to watch the rest of the sequels, but I don't know if they'll be as good as this one, but I don't know. I've seen different rankings and thoughts. Mine may be really, really different because all the thoughts are different. But for me personally, I would say that you should go out and buy this one. It is a fun time. It is a just a fun wizarding movie. If you like this type of movies, you'll have a fun time with this one. Wait, You recommending a Harry Potter movie? Oh God, I really have changed.